Hi there, this is Ranjit, and in this video we will be doing the full review for this Moto G4 Plus, and I have been testing this device now for 10 days with my primary SIM, and I'm going to share my pros and cons in this video, the things that I liked about it and the things that I did not like about it. And this Moto G4 Plus is a very polarizing device because some of the things that I actually really liked on Motorola devices are simply not that refined on this one, but some of the things that I actually did not expect with Motorola devices are done with this one. So just stay tuned for that. And before we continue, let me quickly give you a specs overview. This Moto G4 Plus is powered by the Snapdragon 617 processor, which is actually a octa-core processor clocked at 1.5 gigahertz. It comes in two RAM models, that is the 2 gigabyte or the 3 gigabyte RAM models, and it is having a 5.5 inch 1080p HD screen with Gorilla Glass 3 protection. Moving to the GPU, it has the Adreno 405 GPU clocked at 550 megahertz. Again, in terms of storage, it comes in two variants, 16 gigabytes or 32 gigabytes. The one that we have has 32 gigabytes of storage. That means it'll have 3 gigabytes of RAM. It also has a dedicated microSD card slot, and it's a dual SIM device. Moving to the camera, it has a 16 megapixel rear facing camera with laser autofocus and also face detection autofocus. Hence the focusing is supposed to be really fast. Moving to the front facing camera, it's a 5 megapixel shooter. It also has Moto Display, a fingerprint scanner, and it has a 3000 milliamp hour battery, and it supports fast charging. Now let's start with the pros and cons, and I have made a lot of notes, so I'll go over them. And first, let's start with the things that I actually really liked on this Moto G4 Plus. And the first thing is regarding the screen quality. It comes with a 5.5 inch screen, and now it's a 1080p screen. And I used to always complain about the screen quality that Motorola has used, but surprisingly on this Moto G4 Plus, the screen quality is actually really good. The whites look wide, and you will have no complaints regarding the screen quality found on the Moto G4 Plus. Next, moving to the cellular call quality. Again, the cellular call quality was actually really good. I had no problems regarding the same. The earpiece and the speaker is the same, so you have to be aware of that. In terms of cellular reception, I had no issues. I did not face any drop calls or muddy calls. But I would say if I have to rate the earpiece, I would rate it 8.5 out of 10. It's good enough. Most people will be happy about it, but it's not among the best, I have to say. Now moving to the battery life. It sports a 3000 milliamp hour battery, and I have to say the battery life is actually pretty decent. It's sort of above average. In my day-to-day testing, I would say I could get a screen on time between 4.5 to even 5 hours of screen on time, and this was with the regular day-to-day usage. And even at the end of the day, I almost had about 20% battery life. And even when I used this phone completely on mobile data, that is on 4G, the battery life was also very similar. So again, pretty decent battery life, I would say, but it's not something like that will last for about 2 days on a single charge. Now, another thing that I really liked is that Motorola has bundled the fast charger, that is the turbo charger. But one thing you have to be aware of is that if you use that turbo charger, the handset tends to heat up it becomes really hot. So you have to be aware of that. Many people get worried if they use the fast charger and the device gets warm. And yes, even this Moto G4 Turbo will actually get very hot if you use that turbocharger. Now moving to another new thing that Motorola has added is the fingerprint scanner. It's here on the front, and it's just a capacitive sensor. It's not a physical button, and it does nothing else. The only function for this one is for the fingerprint unlocking. And yes, though it works very well, as you can see, and in terms of sensitivity, I don't have any issues, but they should have implemented this fingerprint button on the back of that Motorola logo. I just don't like the position of this one on the front. Now moving to one major improvement that I see on this Moto G4 Plus is in terms of the camera performance, particularly the rear facing camera. It sports a 16 megapixel sensor, and it has now laser autofocusing system and also face detect autofocusing system. Hence the focusing is blazingly fast, and the pictures that you take in outdoor lighting come out to be actually really great, as you can see from the sample shots. Also, close-up shots are very easy to take thanks to that laser autofocusing system. so you'll get that beautiful bokeh effect very easily. Even when we move to artificial lighting, that is in indoor lighting conditions, I would say the camera performance is one of the best in this price range. Yes, there is a little bit of noise when we go in very low lighting conditions, but again, if we compare it with other devices like the Redmi Note 3 and even the ZUK Z1, I have to say the camera performance on this Moto G4 Plus is far better, and most of you would prefer it. Yes, in low lighting, I noticed that the color accuracy is not that great, but overall, considering the price point, I would say the camera performance is really good. Moving to the front-facing camera does a very good job in terms of static pictures, but when I shot a video with the front-facing camera, I felt the colors were a little bit oversaturated and it looked actually a bit unnatural. So in terms of video, strangely, I don't like the video performance, but in terms of static pictures, the camera performance was actually really good. Now moving to another thing, that is the in-hand feel. The handset actually for a 5.5-inch device feels very light to hold, but now I don't like the fact that Motorola has made the back almost flat. With the earlier Moto devices, that is the Moto G2, Moto G3, they had that curved back, so it was very nice to hold the phone in the hand, but that is simply gone with this Moto G4 Plus. Though it's light, but I miss that curved back. It used to make holding the device very well, but that is simply now gone on this one. Now moving to gaming, the good thing is that it could do gaming without any issues, and it even ran heavy games like Asphalt 8, Nova 3 without any noticeable lag. But the con is that with extended gaming, that is approximately after 10 minutes of continuous gaming, the handset tends to get extremely hot and it can touch even temperatures around 46 degrees Celsius. Hence, I simply cannot recommend this device for extended gaming due to the heating issues that I have noticed. Next thing that I like is that it has the gyroscope sensor. That means you can use it with VR headsets, and also I tested it with YouTube 360 degrees videos and that worked fine. I also like the fact that this device has a dedicated micro SD card slot, and it does support Android Marshmallow's adaptive storage, so you can easily expand the storage by putting a huge capacity micro SD card. So these were some of the things that I really liked about the Moto G4 Plus. But now moving to the things that I really did not like on this device, and I can't believe Motorola did some of these things. Let's talk about that. The first thing is I find this Moto G4 Plus is powered by the Snapdragon 617 chipset, and it's an odd choice. And due to that, overall performance of the device is good, I have to say. I did not notice any lag or something like that when I was regularly using the device. But if you start pushing the device, for example, with extended gaming, and even if you use the camera for extended periods of time, that is more than 15 minutes continuously, the handset tends to get extremely hot. And particularly with the camera, with extended usage, it tends to get a little bit laggy. And I don't get why Motorola chose the Snapdragon 617 chipset, because the 615 lineup also had heating issues. So if you really push the device, it tends to get actually really hot. But again, with my normal usage, I used this device for 10 days with my primary SIM. With regular usage like taking calls or casually browsing, it was getting a bit hot, not very hot. But if you're a sort of power user and you play a lot of games and really push the device, yet it can certainly get pretty hot. They should have used the Snapdragon 650 SoC in my frank opinion. Now, one thing that I just can't get over is that this device does not have the compass sensor. It is simply not there, but it has the gyroscope sensor. And my problem was that I did test it with GPS, because GPS is something that everybody uses these days. And as it did not have the compass sensor, when I was taking sharp turns, and let's say we had some trees and stuff overhead, when I was taking the turn, it was not quickly getting reflected on the screen. It was taking about 4-5 seconds to reflect that on the screen. So if you rely heavily on GPS navigation, I would not recommend you this device, because it does not have the compass sensor. I still can't get it why Motorola chose not to have the compass sensor on this device. They have included the gyroscope, but the compass sensor is simply missing. Next thing is that I also noticed that With the Bluetooth, it works fine with Bluetooth. I paired the Fitbit Blaze with this one. And when I was using it with the Fitbit Blaze, I did notice quite a bit of battery drain due to Bluetooth. So you have to be aware of that. Maybe it can be fixed with the software update. But as of now with Bluetooth, there was quite a bit of high battery drain that I noticed. Now moving to another thing that I simply do not like is that, and again it comes down to ergonomics. Just notice this camera hump at the back. It's slightly protruding, and whenever you place this device flat on a desk or something, it actually rests on this camera hump. It's been working fine for the last 10 days, but I simply don't like that fact because this camera module can get scratched. So I think so it's a design blunder in my opinion. Next thing is regarding audio output via the headphone jack. The audio output from the headphone jack is just okay, I would say. It was fine, but nothing that great. I feel the earlier Moto G3 had a better audio via the headphone jack. Also, many of you asked about this. It does not have a physical LED notification light enabled. It uses that Moto display. So whenever you get a notification or you pick up the phone, the display lights up and you can see the notification. Yes, that's how Motorola has been doing that. But many people don't like that, and they should have enabled the physical LED notification light. So if you're looking for a physical LED notification light, that is simply not there on this device. So these were some of the things that I did not like about this device. Overall, still it's a very good device, I would say, particularly if you take a lot of pictures, not videos, because the videos were a little bit oversaturated in my opinion. So if you're a sort of a camera fanatic, and yes, I feel at this current price point of about 15,000, this one currently has the best camera performance, and overall performance of the device was also good. But again, yes, with extended usage or with extended gaming, the device can certainly get a little bit hot. So you have to be aware of that. And I also don't like the, flat back. It was a signature by Motorola, how comfortable their handsets used to feel when you used to hold them in the hand, but that's simply gone with this device. So overall, considering the pros and cons with this device, I would rate it 7.5 out of 10. I've also posted its a gaming review. You can check out that for more info. I hope you found this video review helpful. If you found it helpful, I'll appreciate if you can click the like button. And if you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching. This is Ranjit, and I hope to see you in my next video.